Cooking
Hello, 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 and welcome in. I'm not going to say welcome back yet because I'm not really considering this a first episode. I mean, technically, it is the first episode. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But here's the deal. The last episode was aired in November, and it's been a long time since, and I've been trying to get back to get another episode in, but hey, stuff got crazy. All right. We all know that I played football at Saddleback College, and the season was in the middle of the season. It became a lot to do this as well as school and do that. But since then, I have moved. I am now in Texas. I'm attending West Texas A&M starting on Monday. Oh, by the way, it is January 7th, 2022. That's what I normally do at the beginning of every episode. I give the date to start just with some context, So if you're listening later, you got to understand what day it is. So today is January 7th, 2022. Hope you had a fantastic ending to 2021. I know it was rough for some people, better than others, but hey, 2022 will be better. 2021 is in the review. All right. So all that being said, this is more of a test episode. So if you're hearing this on Anchor, continue listening, because I'm going to be doing this is going to be an episode, but if you're hearing this on Anchor, that means that the test went well. So hopefully this will be on Anchor, because I want to be able to do this. I'm going to try to commit to do this a couple times a week. Okay. So I had some stuff on my mind for today, and I just kind of want to talk about some ongoing conversations I have with crypto. Before I get into that, I just want to point out, if you're watching right now on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you'll notice that I am making a studio. My where I live looks completely different. I actually have a 3-bedroom house now instead of a very small 2-bedroom back house that I was living in California. So I'm actually turning this room into a studio. As you can see, if you're watching right now, there's I just printed stuff off the printer. I forgot to take off the printer, but there's boxes everywhere. And I was gonna try to get it all cleaned up with the first episode, but you know what? Like life, this show is a work in progress. Okay, I want to thank everybody who supported so far. We have reached 100 followers on Facebook. We're at 20 or so on YouTube, and I haven't even checked Twitch. I literally haven't even checked on the show's reach in a while. When I pulled up the live dashboard or whatever to go live on Facebook, it said, hey, you've reached 100 followers. I was like, hey, right on That was our first goal, was 100 followers on Facebook. So give it up. Oh, I don't have my sound. I have new equipment. Well, some more like rotated equipment. I had a computer that I was using for things, and that is now what I use to record and make things on. And then I got a new computer for center of gaming. And then if you see whatever you see on the screen, if I go to do something on the screen like this, that will be the other computer. And there's a lot of stuff to make all this happen. There's a lot of stuff to make this happen. I give mad respect to anybody who does full-time content creation or create stuff online. Like I've said before, mad respect to you, okay? But this is all work in progress. But what I want to talk about today is some conversations that I've had on and off for the past couple of months regarding crypto. Just a little bit of a disclaimer, I am not a crypto expert, okay? I've made some money here and there by investing, reselling, or I do some mining and stuff like that. But what I want to talk about is basically, I don't really know how to explain like the topping point of what I want to talk about. But basically, I just some conversations I had started talking of like, well, I hope you've been investing in long term for like stocks and stuff like that, which I do, and then I hope I'm trying to generate other streams of income, right? And first off, when people talk about passive income, I think there's this weird misunderstanding of what passive income is, I think. Let's look at the definition of passive income. I want to Google it. This is going to be our first test of doing a lot of things at once. Passive income definition. Let's just type that into Google. Okay, so passive income is earning derived from a rental property, limited partnership, or other enterprise in which a person is not actively involved. Okay, so this definition describes passive income as basically you're earning money from another source, but you're not there every day, right? I take it one step further. I think of passive income as something that generates me money and I don't have to tend to it, but probably every once in a while. So if you're tending something daily, I don't think that that's passive income. In my book, you might think it is, but to me, that is more of a side hustle, right? So generally speaking, people break up income into two different categories. We have passive and active, okay? I break it down into three different categories: passive, active, which we already mentioned, but then I add the third one and I say side hustle. What that means to me is it could look like this for you, right? You have a job that's 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 7 to 3 or whatever. You have your daily job, and then you might have something that is a side hustle. You might sell furniture on the side. You might flip cars or whatever. That is your side hustle. Now, both of those are technically active income, but the way I help derivative it for myself to really understand this is just to understand what passive income is. Passive income to me is where you can hit a button and money comes in and you don't have to touch it, right? Now that sounds made up and like there's nothing like that. Well, there kind of is. See, people think that stocks and stuff like that is passive income, and in a way it is. It's just very low, right? I mean, you're doing great if you earn 5% back a year, unless you're like day trading or stuff like that. But if you're just long-term investing, maybe in a mutual fund or in a managed portfolio, which I highly recommend managed portfolios if you don't know anything about trading stocks. We can talk about managed portfolios later if something brings it up. But if you are not really fully fluent in trading stocks, then a managed portfolio is probably for you. What you do is you put your money in there, sort of like a savings account, maybe do monthly or weekly deposits, or deposit whenever you want, and then they put the money to work for you. Okay, now that is sort of, to me, that is also passive income, but it takes a lot of capital or cash up front to make it to where you can sort of, where that income off of that, it can kind of change your lifestyle, right? What I mean by that is that like you can't pull money from that every month and it help pay the bills. I mean, you can, but in reality, it doesn't become really fruitful until after months and months and years of it getting stashed away and the compounding interest, and yada, 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 right? So for me, passive income could be a rental house, right? So rental property. But rental properties, if you've ever ventured off into it, can be a lot of work, especially a lot of work up front. And then maybe some people are thinking, well, I have a YouTube page and blah, 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 blah. Unless you have an absolute banger video that you've uploaded once, you've never uploaded any more content on YouTube, you probably spend a lot of time, probably minimum 3 hours a day, working on your YouTube channel. Probably more. So that to me, that's not passive income. That is a what? Side hustle. So for me, I have two streams of passive incomes. One of them is my, retirement and the index funds or what have you for my retirement funds. And then two would be mining crypto. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Last year, I started off the year great with the stock market. I started getting into some day trading. Some friends taught me some things, like people who do this like for real. Day trading or dealing with sometimes individual stocks and sometimes stock options. Things with stock options is if you lose your money, you're never getting it back. But with stocks, if you lose the money, if you just hold on to it, you might get it back one day. But with options, you make a mistake, that money is gone. And let me tell you, I made some mistakes. I held on too long or not long enough, and I lost some money. And I said, screw it. I'm taking all of my money, not like my long-term stuff, but my short-term stuff, my short-term investments. I'm taking all that out and I'm putting it into crypto. Listen, if you would have asked me to do that a year ago, I probably would have thought you were crazy. But this is the way I look at it. First off, I don't necessarily believe that crypto is going to be like Bitcoin, for example. I don't really believe that that's going to be the next. By the way, I probably look disgusting. I haven't even showered or anything today. I'm just like trying to get some stuff done, and this is one of the things on my list. And I said, screw it. I'm going to do an episode, drop everything. I'm going to do one. So, excuse me if my hair looks greasy or if I don't even know what I look like. It's hard for me to see myself. Anyways, so basically, I don't really necessarily believe that, at least not yet, that we're going to be using crypto as the equivalent as we use fiat currency, meaning we're not going to be using it for daily purchases anytime soon. And when I said that in 2017, right before crypto made it that first big boom of like 20K, people were like, no, Bitcoin, we're going to be using that like in 2 years to do, we're going to be able to go to a restaurant and use Bitcoin. And I was like, first off, you really don't understand how crypto works if you think, or like Bitcoin. You don't really understand how Bitcoin works if you think you're going to be able to go to a restaurant and use Bitcoin. And for one quick reason I'm going to tell you guys why that doesn't work is Bitcoin's too slow. The transactions take too long. So I got a phone call, but I don't know if I'm okay. Let me make sure this isn't like something really important. No, I'll do that later. Whatever. So, sorry for the interruption. So Bitcoin, for one, just takes too long. It can take up to like 30 minutes or more for a transaction. So you don't really want to be using Bitcoin specifically for daily transactions. There are other coins out there like Litecoin and maybe Ethereum. Litecoin is significantly faster. Litecoin is probably the first hope that we have of using it as a daily transaction. Okay. So when I said that in 2017, people thought I was crazy. I said that we're not going to be using that within 5 years. And it's now 2022, and it's 2022, and it looks like I'm about right. And I still don't think it's going to be within the next 5 years either. I think we're maybe looking for maybe within between 5 and 10 years, but not within the next 5 again. I think a lot has to happen to use crypto as a daily, means of doing purchases. So you might be thinking, well, why do you invest in crypto? Well, I invest in crypto for one. You can't deny that it makes money. I was like I heard somebody say once, people spend money on stupid things all the time. It's up to you to either be the one to spend the money or you can be the one to sell something stupid for them to buy or whatever, something like that. You get it. people spend money all the time. And so there's money to be made in a lot of sorts of facets. And, well, I want to try to make money. So crypto seemed like a way to do it. I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily believe in the cryptocurrency itself, but what I do believe in is the blockchain technology. I can't explain the blockchain technology all that well, so I'm not going to even try. But so when I would invest in crypto, I'm essentially investing in the blockchain technology. And so far I'm right, because now we're seeing the rise of NFTs, and NFTs right now is just art, but it's going to be a thing for, contracts is probably the next thing where people are going to do what's called smart contracts, which is basically going to be a contract between you and somebody, usually involving money, and it's going to be solidified on the blockchain. I'm not going to understand how that works either, but either here or there. So I invested money in crypto itself, but I also invested money into mining. Now, it's not a lot of money. I didn't invest a whole lot of money. I probably invested like $2,000 into. I'm being completely honest with you guys. I haven't told anybody anything about this, but I'm just being real. And keep in mind, I'm a jock. Okay, I am literally just a dude. I am probably just averagely smart, maybe slightly above average smart compared to a lot of other people. I know hardly anything about crypto itself because it's such a deep topic. I hardly know anything about anything. Just kidding. No, I know some stuff about some things, right? But I don't know a lot about everything. I know some things about some things, but not a lot about everything. Okay, so I understood that if you were to make money in the stock market, to make it to where it can, be like an income that you have on the side, like passive income, you're looking at about 5 to 10% in a year, in a yield in a year of like whatever capital you put in. So what does that look like? That means for every $100, you get back about $5. So in order to even get back $5,000 a year, you would have to put in, what was that? What would that be? Like 100 million? What's the math on that? On 1 million, you're gonna get back 5,000, something like that. So 1 million, you're gonna get back 5,000. Okay, because that's 5%. Wait, hold on. Let's double check this. Siri, what's 5% of 1 million? Sorry, I way overestimated. That's $50,000. So you need to put in 100 grand. So 100 grand will get you back $5,000 a year at 5%. Okay, so that's not really life-changing money. But if you had $1 million and you put in 5%, or sorry, if you put in $1 million and you got 5% back, that's 50 grand a year. You could live off that income. So I don't have a lot of money like that. I don't have just a stack of cash somewhere. I mean, I was in the military, so we're not exactly raking in the dough. So what I did is I took all my money out and of my short-term investments, and I invested in a mining rig. I've probably spent about $2,200 on it. I mine currently at about 0.0864 ether a month, and so obviously it changes depending how much US dollars that equivalent to, depending on how much Ethereum is worth at that moment, kind of like a stock, right? But it's truly passive. The only type of money I pay for it is, at this point, is how much electricity it costs, and I don't have a big mining rig. It's really a budget mining rig. It only brings me in about between $300 to $450 a month. My best month is $480, but it's only going to get better from here because I'm doing some slight upgrades, right? So hopefully my goal is to bring in $500 a month just with mining within the next 2 months. Okay? Now that's not a lot of money, right? That's not going to necessarily change how I live my day-to-day life. $500 a month. After moving to Texas, $500 stretches way farther than California, but you kind of get the picture. So $500 a month, $500 a month. So 500 times 10, that's 5,000 plus another 1,000. So that's about. Hold on. Let's ask Siri. Siri, what's 500 times 12? What's 500 times 12? 6,000. So that'll bring me $6,000 a year on a $2,000 investment. Okay, if you do the math on that, okay, if I'm making $500 a month, let's just round up to a $3,000 investment, because by the time I'm making 500, it'll probably be around a $3,000 investment. And I made this investment, a majority of it, like a year ago. So I've more than made my money back, right? So I'm making $500 a month, for 12 months. That's $6,000 in the year. Okay, so on a $3,000 investment, I've doubled my money in 12 months. You're not doing that in the stock market. Okay, I'm not saying for you to take all your money out of your investments and do crypto and do things like that, but I will tell you that you need to start thinking outside the box a little bit, because the way our stock market's been performing the past couple of years with COVID, it's kind of hit and miss, unless you're doing like the S&P funds and things like that. But I'm outperforming those funds, right? What was the S&P, like, what was the S&P gains from last year? S&P 500 gains 2021. So it was about a total return of 28.7%, including dividends. That's pretty good. I think that's a better year than most. The average, I think, is a little less than that. I think the average is about 20. But it's the gain without the dividends is 26.9%, and the gain with dividends is 28.7%. The S&P 500 for the year 2021. But I outperformed that. Okay? I outperformed that. Now, I don't have compounding interest, so long term it won't grow exponentially. However, I can always get the capital from crypto and then put it into the S&P 500, and it'll gain me more, right? But I use the money I get from crypto. I don't necessarily save it all the time. Sometimes I put it into other investments, right? That'll also help me grow money. Or I have before recently took some money out to pay for moving to Texas, because moving to Texas is hella expensive right now because everybody's leaving California. And I don't blame them, because California is terrible. Okay, so you get the idea. I just wanted to just talk about this for a second to say that, think about outside the box of how you're generating income. Okay. As you can tell, I wasn't super prepared with like notes and things like that. I just wanted to get an episode in here, talk about something that was on my mind for just this past hour, and just get talking. And you might tell the audio there's a little bit of an echo. I'm gonna do something about that. It's a work in progress, just like life. This show, JJ's Life Show, is a work in progress. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you share this with your friends. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you tune in live next time to be a participant in JJ's Life Show. That's the whole goal of the show, is to have an interactive audience. Also, if you couldn't tell, if you look behind me, you can't see this if you're just listening, but I talked about having guests. I decided that I want to have a space for in-person guests rather than only online guests. I have the equipment for it. Now I'm just gonna sit where all this trash and boxes are and stuff like that. I'm keeping boxes in case I gotta return something, which I've already had to do. But all this, I'm gonna have a chair over here. I'm thinking I'll sit something like this, and we'll have like a guest right here, and I'll put something on the wall. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, hey, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I really appreciate you guys just being patient, and I appreciate the feedback. But I always appreciate the feedback on the show. I can't wait to be doing this again with you guys. And until next time, catch y'all on the flippity flip. Peace. Go Buffs.